and welcome to IRL F3, and we're heading to round 12, and it is Bahrain today. I am Sondre Sorhaug and will be your only commentator today. I can see that we might have a restart of the lobby. I think I see a lot of people leaving. I see that the timing is not correct, so I will see if I can confirm that for everyone who is watching. Let's see here. And I do believe we are restarting the lobby then, so so we didn't get to do much of this before we ended up with a restart, but nonetheless we can take the championship situation. As for the title, it is wrapped up. It is Ivan Kingsley who's taken the title, as he is now 62 points ahead of Ross Denholm, meaning there is no chance for Ross at catching up. However, for the constructors, I am not completely sure. I do believe it is settled there as well, 51 points. So that should also be settled in Ferrari's favor. Not by much, but by just enough. So, as for third place in the constructor, there is still a tight fight between McLaren and Racing Point, with McLaren leading with 8 points going into this last round, as they were a little behind the Racing Point team after Canada, but they pulled it back in Italy. And we will see if we have gotten a new invite, which we have. So then we will take just a quick second and get into the new lobby. You feel like you've heard my voice before. Interesting. I'm not too sure who you are, but that might be, for that matter. I've done my fair share of comms over multiple leagues and tiers, for that matter. So wouldn't be surprising if you've heard me. However, we are in the new lobby, and we're still missing a few of the drivers. Hopefully the timing should be correct this time. As for the Constructors' Championship, we'll keep going through it. We have a fight for 5th place as well, between the Renault team, the Williams and the Red Bull team, all separated by 12 points there, so a tight fight there. However, I do think I will have to say that my personal favorite in these two fights, I think I would have to say McLaren in the fight for third. I'm gonna say Renault in the fight for fifth. Both these teams have shown good pace overall in the season, and can you reserve? You can unfortunately not. Sparks F1. As we have 15 of the drivers here, meaning that we're only missing one of the drivers who are here. And then finally in the fight, not to end last in the constructor, there is well, I guess there is a bit of a fight between 8th and 9th, and 9th and 10th actually, with 9th being 15 points behind 8th of Haas. Then the Alpha in 9th is 13 points ahead of the Mercedes team in last. And now I believe we have all the drivers here, so we'll see. So the Mercedes team is full tally. Well, almost. They are actually one of their drivers isn't there, so one of them is only a reserve. Both the Ferraris here today of Ivan and Silva. Then we have Enzo and Jess in the Red Bull, gonna try to pull themselves ahead of either the Williams or the Renault if they could. Then we have both the McLarens of Luke Baker and Billy Mossum, who's fighting for that 3rd place. Both Renaults also fighting for that 5th place against the Red Bulls. Then we see that we have both Michael Marlowe and Ross Denholm for the AlphaTauris. However, these two have nothing to fight for anymore, except for maybe something in the Drivers' Championship. Michael is 17 points ahead of Silva, so and actually only 13 points behind Ross, so could go both ways for Michael today there. For the Racing Point team today, we're missing Ermin, which means that Matt is gonna fight for this constructor by himself today. In Alfa Romeo we have Cameron Rowlands missing Jamie Dodger, unfortunately, and in Haas we have both drivers, while Williams are missing both drivers, meaning that it's gonna be very difficult for Williams to keep the Red Bull team of Jessica and Enzo behind them. And well, if we take a quick look over at the driver standings again, we can see that there is a few fights. We have Stephen Grayson 9 points behind Ermin. Ermin obviously not here, so he's gonna try to catch up that gap. Haas is in, did I not say it? I do believe I said it. They are in 8th place, trying to fend off the Alfa Romeos, and well, 15 points behind the Red Bull, so they could technically still move one position up as well. And then in the Drivers' Championship, as we said, Grayson 9 points behind Ermin. We have also Billy Mossum 3 points behind Grayson, then Tom Spicer 5 points behind Billy Mossum, and Enzo 5 points behind Tom Spicer. So there is a bit of a fight going for that P5 between the positions of P5 and P9 before there's a gap down to Jamie Dodger in 10th. But however, we're in quali again now, and this time the time of day is correct. So let's see. We have Cameron Rowlands out on track already on a set of soft tires, so he'll be going for that pole position as normal. However, if he can get it, we don't know yet. But as We have Cameron on his out lap. We'll quickly go over the strategy for today's race. For most people, at least the people qualifying inside the top 10, should they be starting on soft tires, then the strategy is soft to hards. But it is not an easy strategy. You can't pit much earlier than lap 8, I believe. And even at that point, it is a bit of a stretch. So you can't be too hard on your tires. For the drivers outside of the top 10, we will probably be seeing most people do a strategy of hards to mediums or the other way around. But now we'll watch Chris Ryan as he is about to start his lap, and the first lap of the day in his Mercedes, fighting to not get last in the constructors. Chris going through sector 1 here, and he's broken his wing on someone. And I am not sure. I think that might have been Luke, and that is Luke trying to do donuts, it looks like. However, here we can see Ivan Kingsley, the championship leader, doing some donuts after taking that championship. As we can see that he's on wet tires, he's not going to be setting a lap on these. Hopefully he'll just be able to stay out of anyone's way. As we can see him weaving a little, and is actually managed to crash himself out there. Nonetheless, we're gonna go over to Cameron Rowlands, who's on a lap. He should be one of the first drivers to set a valid lap. We might have a Renault. No, the Renault is on an out lap. So Cameron Rowlands through the final corner, all the way down to third gear. Wouldn't necessarily suggest going that far down myself, but nonetheless over the line he sets a 26.9 as the first lap of the day. As we'll now be watching Stephen Grayson as he's heading through turn 4 here. And then, and there we see some people are doing donuts. We're a little bit too closely to track for my liking. As we can see, Stephen Grayson now going into this diff. Okay, and so I've been disqualified, probably driven the wrong way down. Now through that double left-hander for Grayson, and down this back straight into this very quick left-hander that leads into the very quick right-hander that you do not want to touch that inside curb on, as it's almost a guarantee to spin. Then into a quick braking zone. You gotta try to carry as much speed as possible through there to really pull some speed down this straight, and then into the final corner, down into third gear for Grayson as well, and then on to the straight and towards the line. It's gonna be a 1:26.8 and provisional pole for Steven. As Jeremy has set a lap as well now, is he? But however, we're watching Michael Marlowe now, who is probably gonna try to chase down Ross for that second place in the championship. As we can see here, it's just a purple first sector for him. I'm not too sure how correct that is, as we can see that Ross has decided to retire. I believe we have a couple of people deciding to start from the back today. Now Michael Marlowe through this second sector, not taking that much curb on the outside there, getting a bit of a tight entry. Or now into this quick right-hander and into this tough braking zone. You can see him not going as wide on the entry as he should want to do there either. Probably gonna lose a little bit of speed going down this straight. Or into the final corner, takes a little bit more curb there, down into third like many others we've seen, and then towards the line. It's gonna be a 1:25.8. And Joachim Storm seems to be the only one on a lap right now then, so we'll watch the Renault as he goes through turn 1, 2 and 3, then onto this DRS straight heading into turn 4. A bit of a tricky traction zone here, as we can see him all the way down in 3rd gear. A little bit loose on the back end there, then into this S section that it is crucial to have a good entry before you go into this bit tricky right-hander and then heading up towards the double left-hander, a corner that many people have issues with. However, most important thing there is to get a good line, to get a good exit, as you'll need that to have as much speed as possible going through here. And then into this quick left right-hander, looking a little unsteady for Joachim there. However, into this second to last corner now, saying ooh, and that is way wide, and somehow he is not actually invalidated there. However, I do think he's lost time there though, as we can see him now going through the final corner, looking a little bit unsteady there as well. And towards the line, it's going to be a 1:26.5, and it looked like he were on for a better lap than that to begin with. As we can see that Chris Ryan is now on a lap as well in his Mercedes, heading in towards the second to last corner. A little bit wide and invalidates his lap there. And right now Chris almost seems like he's going for a second lap on those tires. However, he's almost out of ERS almost. I'm not too sure how much I would recommend this, especially with the tire wear on this track as well. You can't really afford to have 2 laps of tire wear before the race, but he seems to be going for it, so we'll follow him for a little more before we'll jump over to Jessica Harrison after Chris here, I believe. Actually, we'll jump over to Jessica already, as I don't think Chris is going to be on for a really good lap there. Now Jessica heading in towards the double left-hander, a little bit deep, seemed to be getting down the traction well though. Now in towards this quick left-hander, taking a bit of a tight line, but nonetheless seemed to be carrying through a decent amount of speed before heading to this second to last corner now. Bit of a tight line there as well. However, not invalid, as she's heading down towards the final corner, and Chris Ryan did either abort his lap or invalidate. Now Jessica out of the final corner and up towards the line. This is going to be a 1:26.9, which puts her in 5th at the moment. And we're going to move over to Thomas McIver. Thomas, who at the moment is deciding to quali on the medium tires. With that in mind, he's probably not aiming for a pole, he's probably just aiming to be the highest alternate strat runner. Which, to be fair, could be a good decision, however, we'll see. as he's heading down towards the final corner and out of the final corner, using a bit of a higher gear than most, using 4th gear. Then over the line at 1:27.297, which puts him in 6th, right ahead of his teammate. And let's see, we have Michael Marlowe on the lap again, as he's heading in towards the end of the second sector through this past left to right combination in towards the second to last corner. He's 1.5 tenths up on his time, then out of that corner and down towards the final corner. Will he find any improvement there as well? Taking a little bit of curve there, down to 3rd gear, up to 4th quite early. That is good to see. And now down towards the line, it's going to be a 1:25.8 and a small improvement. And Cameron Rowlands has invalidated his lap. Thomas McIver is not on a lap. Luke Baker is on a medium lap, interestingly. In towards the double left-hander for Luke, and we can see him turning in maybe a bit too early there. Now down towards this left-right combination, we can see him, like many others, not using too much of the outside curb on entry there. And then through this corner and in towards the second to last corner, and that almost was well invalidated, I think, but he managed to keep it valid as he's now heading down towards the final corner. And through the final corner and down towards the line, it's going to be a 1:28.1, putting him in 7th. And right now we have Cameron Rowlands, who's decided to go for a second run on those tires. However, he is 2.5 tenths up on his time as well, so maybe it'll be a good run by him. However, though, as I said, you really don't want to be putting 2 laps on your tires in quali on this track. However, as we have nobody else on any laps, we're gonna keep following him and see if he finishes his lap as he's heading down towards this left-right combination now. We can see his fuel light flashing, meaning he's getting quite low on fuel. Hopefully he has enough to push for the rest of his lap. He's 2 tenths up now, almost 2.5. Down towards the final corner. Will he find any time there? Looking like he's getting good traction out of it, and towards the line it's going to be a 1:26.1 and a 3.5 tenths improvement in the end there. However, at this point I don't think he has enough time to get back to the pit to get a new set of tires, meaning that he won't challenge Michael for pole in the end. Our Stephen Grayson is on a lap though in his Renault on a brand new set of soft tires, so let's see what he can do. We can see him heading through that double left-hander. Now down this DRS straight and into the very quick left-hander before he's gonna get into that right-hander, and then gonna set himself up for the second to last corner. And we can see him taking a quite decent line into this corner. However, he is slightly down on his time at the moment, meaning that it's probably not going to be an improvement, and if it will be an improvement, I doubt that he'll be able to jump Cameron Rowlands at this pace. However, coming towards line, it's going to be a 26.4 and half a tenth improvement for him. And it's almost looking like he's going to go for another lap instantly, so he'll, with nobody else being on any laps, we'll stay with him for now, as we can see that he's still pushing. Let's see here then, the end of sector 1. Will he be up on his time? He's down by 1.5 tenths, and At this point, I think it might be time to abort that lap and make sure you don't put too much into those tires, Steven. However, Steven is still pushing, so let's see what it says at the second sector split. Will he be up on his time? I think I must have missed the sector split. However, we'll watch him towards the line as there's only a few people who just started their lap, and Grayson goes into the pit. We're gonna jump over to Michael Marlowe, heading through the first sector here. Actually, if I'm not mistaken, we have Jessica further ahead on track, so we're gonna follow her first to see if she can improve. Then we're gonna jump over to Michael when he's towards the end of his lap, as Jessica is 1/10 up at the moment. She's gonna need a little more time to jump the Renault of Storm, heading into the final corner. And out of it, putting traction down. Now what is the time gonna be? It's gonna be 1:26.8, and it is almost 1.5 tenth improvement, but it is not enough to move her up any further on the grid. And what about Michael Marlowe? He has aborted his lap. Storm, ooh, and I think I saw, was that a Haas standing the wrong way around there and might have spun, I'm not sure. Ooh, and that's pretty much Storm's lap over. And Thomas McIver is spinning. What about Billy Mossum then? He hasn't managed to put a lap in yet. He's on the medium tires. Will he be able? He's gonna finish the lap at least. It's gonna be a 1:27.1, putting him in 6th place on those mediums. Not a bad position for Billy. And actually, it is very doubtful that Matt is gonna finish his lap, but and it's actually invalid in the end, and he's diving into the pit, so he was trying to bait us. Thomas McIver, well, he's the last driver on track, but we know he's not on a lap. And we can see that we have Michael Marlowe on a convincing pole with a 1:25.812. Cameron Rowlands in 2nd place with a 1:26.1. Then we have Stephen Grayson in 3rd with a 1:26.4, before we have Joachim Storm in 4th, Jessica Harrison in 5th, Billy Mossum on mediums in 6th, followed by Thomas McIver and Luke Baker also on mediums. Luke and Chris Ryan with both 5-place grid penalties, so I do believe that was what we were seeing at the start of quali, meaning that Jeremy Pope will actually start in 8th in front of Luke. Then we have the people who didn't set any times in Ross Denholm, Silva, Arvind, Ivan Kingsley, Matt Romano, and Enzo in last. And as the drivers are picking their strategies, I will mention it once again. For the people starting on soft tires, the main strategy is soft to hards. We might see some people do soft medium medium as well, or soft medium soft, if they really don't trust their tire. For the guys for the guys starting on mediums first, they should be doing mediums to hards. I doubt we will see any one of those go for 2 stops, and for the guys who did not set any lap time, we should be seeing them do hards to mediums or the other way around. As we will have a look, we can see that this is a bit of a weird one, to be honest. We can see that of all the drivers who did not set laps, we have Ross Denholm, who's starting on hard tires, and just to remind you, Ross, 10 car lengths, get that Alpha Tauri in a gear and catch up to the back of that field. Then we have Silva, Arvind, Luke and Ivan all starting on medium tires, so not sure if they're afraid of an early safety car, or... And we can see that Ivan is showing that Ferrari to the audience. Matt Romano using common sense, starting on the hard tires, before we have Chris Ryan, who obviously with that obviously starting on soft tires. I do believe he's had a lap in quali, but obviously 5 place grid penalty put him down here. And then Enzo in last in 16th on medium tires. However, there is a lot of it is difficult to predict the outcome of today's race. Obviously we have Michael Marlowe in pole position, and I know from earlier this week in FP that his pace is good around here, so if he can get a good launch and pull away from the rest early on, we could see Michael on for a good result here. However, we do gotta remember the medium runners of Billy and Thomas McIver down in 6th and 7th there, as well as we gotta remember the rest of the alternate strat runners from Ross downwards. As we're just seconds away from the race start. And we have 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights, and away we go with the final race of the season. It's a good start from Michael Marlowe. Cameron Rowlands is, well, he's going to try to challenge into turn 1, but it doesn't look like he's going to be able. But look at the back though, we have a lot of people side by side. We have both the Renaults, we have him, I believe that is the McLaren of Billy there, trying to get himself a position or 2 as well, but now being challenged by Ross Denholm. However, Ross Denholm a little boxed in at the moment. As we can see both the Ferraris there as well. I believe it is Silva ahead of these 2 Ferraris, and there is a crash, and it is Billy, and he's actually saved that, and somehow ended up with just little wing damage from that. However, that wing damage could be crucial, as it's going to make it difficult for him during this race. As we can see that Ross Denholm is making his way up into 3rd already on those hard tires, showing good pace here now. Probably going to try to slap a little band-aid on that sore after losing the championship earlier this last week. And now we can see that it's Thomas McIver and Storm side by side, and Thomas McIver takes that P4 away from Storm. Storm is going very wide out of the second last corner, but now Storm, he's showing himself in Thomas's mirrors, letting him know that I want that position back and I'm gonna try to fight for it. And look at this, down towards turn 1, we can see that Grayson is barely within the DRS on Michael Marlowe already. As is that just the timings messing up, or have we? I do believe that. Oh, as Thomas McIver is out in the gravel, And I do believe the timings are very messed up right now, because I could swear that I... Oh, this is very confusing, but we can see that Billy with that front wing damage is still on the back of these two Ferraris. However, as we saw, he just picked up a penalty, and that's probably something he's going to do more of with that wing damage. But look at this though, Storm right on the back of Ross Denholm. Storm, ooh, as that is Silva going very wide. It's difficult to decide where to look at the moment, as we can see that we have quite a few close battles at the moment. Storm, however, seemed to be the closest one on Ross right now, heading down towards the final corner. We can see that Michael Marlowe, he's still... I'm not sure if that is correct. That looks like more of a gap than 9/10 in my opinion. But look at this though. Joachim Storm, he's going to overtake Ross Denholm and take that third place back from the AlphaTauri, although the AlphaTauri is going to try to dive it down inside on Storm. However, we can see that he's not getting enough traction down on the exit, and probably not the best choice by Ross there. Now we can see that the timings has updated itself a little. We can see that Michael Marl, ooh, and it's a safety car. And that's a very early safety car. I don't know what the drivers should actually be doing at this one. Lap 3, they cannot take cards to the end here. I know that for a fact from experience in FP. But the soft runners, they don't have much left in those softs either. So I think maybe for all the soft runners, the best option could be to go for a set of mediums and go medium to the end from here. For the hard runners of Ross and Matt and Billy and Thomas, they should just stay where they are. As Jessica Harrison has managed to pick up a drive-through penalty, and that's going to make it difficult for her today to get a good result. But let's see here, Michael Marlowe, what does he do? He should pit, as he does. Well, Stephen Grayson does the same. Storm is also going to pit, however he's going to have to double stack behind his teammate. Ross Denholm stays out. Silva, and why is Silva pitting? That's a very strange pit stop from Silva, but he goes on to a set of hard tires, and those are not gonna last to the end. I'm telling both you and Storm and Luke. So for these drivers, they gotta hope for a safety car later on now as well then. And let's have a look then at pit stops there. So we can see that everyone except for Arvin, Ivan and Ross have pitted during this first safety car then. And if we look at tires again, and that is a little confusing. I see that drivers like Matt Romano have pitted, and same with Billy Mossam. They shouldn't have really. They should have kept track position, and well, I'm saying that, but the medium tires are the better tire at the same time, so difficult to say, to be fair. Nonetheless, we're going to have Ross Denholm leading out after the safety car ahead of Ivan Kingsley, the two championship rivals. In third, we have Michael Marlowe, who's on a fresh set of mediums, also the first driver on track who has done a pit stop already. Obviously, he's going to have to make another one, but... And well, everyone has not caught up to the back of the field yet. We have Billy Mossum 15 seconds behind, trying to catch up. As Cameron Rowlands picks up a 5-second penalty for collision with Thomas McIver. As we can see that the safety car is still staying out. We still have... Oh, as Cameron Rowlands, he must have broken his wing. And I'm not sure if Thomas McIver did that as well, but they have both pitted and they're quite far behind. So I'm not sure if the safety car is going to stay out and wait for them as well. Let's see then. Safety car in this lap finally, and we have the whole field caught up now. So let's see then. Ross is leading the field on to this restart. We can see that the safety car is getting to the pit entry now, which means that Ross can go whenever he wants to, and he goes right out of the final corner, and that's not a good safety car restart by Ross. You can see him instantly under pressure from Ivan Kingsley. However, Ivan seems to decide to just stick behind for the moment. In the meantime, we can see that Arvin is battling with Stephen Grayson. However, Stephen Grayson gets past. We can see that Luke, actually Arvin, Luke and Silva all battling for that position right now, as Joachim Storm is actually out, and I didn't notice that he went out, but he's left as well now. And look at that, Silva around the outside of Luke in turn 4. And look at this, Silva, is he gonna go right down the inside of Arvin into this difficult right-hander? He does. A little contact was made and he gets through. But look at this though. The fight for the lead. Ivan Kingsley seems to almost be struggling a little bit, as we can see that Michael Marlowe is looking to take that inside line and take the position from Ivan to move up into second place, as he's now going to start chasing down his teammate on the hard tires. Now let's see at the front then, we can see that Michael, he's using some ERS to get himself closer to Ross. Ivan almost seems like he's struggling a little bit, and look at this. Grayson, he's gonna have a look down the inside on Ivan into turn 1. He's showing himself in Ivan's mirrors, but decides to not go for the move this time. In the meantime, Ross is keeping a good pace up front, but Michael is catching, and now we're going into that sector where the medium tires is going to be way better than the hard tires. I can see Stephen Grayson still on the rear of Ivan Kingsley here. As we see that Jessica has picked up a 3-second time penalty. Further down the grid, we have Jessica fighting with Cameron Rowlands. It looks like Cameron has managed to make the move around the outside in that right-hander after the XS section. What about Billy Mossam? Billy Mossam, he's going to pull the move on Jeremy Pope into this fast left-hander. However, Jeremy is still there. He's going to try to stick to him. But it looks like Billy has that position for now. But nonetheless, we're going to have to check up at the front again as Michael Marlowe. He's getting closer to the rear of Ross Dillon. Going on to the start-finish straight. I think he will have the move made. Going into turn 1, actually, he, without DRS, he's going to sit there for another lap. And I do not see the reason behind this, Michael. As we can see that there is no bad. The battle for third is quiet at the moment. Same with the other battles as well. The closest battle is actually the one for first between these two teammates. And with it being the last race of the season, please let us see some racing between the two of you, Michael and Ross. Look at this, we have Thomas McIver quite close to the back end of Luke Baker, and down the inside in this right-hander. He's gonna out-traction Luke as well, but Luke with that inside line for this double left-hander, is he gonna be able to challenge? He has to tuck in behind. And let's Thomas go, and now we can see that Luke's teammate of Billy is also catching up to these two. And he's going to be looking to get past Luke at some point very soon. However, let's see then. Michael Marlowe and Ross Denon in the lead. Michael is closer than he's been earlier. Cameron Rowlands is out. But look at this though, Michael Marlowe right behind Ross with DRS. This should be a simple move for Michael as he goes into the lead again right before they get a virtual safety car. And I gotta say that is very lucky for Ross, I think. You can see the Billy that was lining up Luke for a move as well. He's been a little unlucky by this as he didn't get his chance in the end. However, let's see then, we still have a virtual, and it was Cameron Rowlands, by the way, who crashed out this time, if I didn't say. And a drive-through penalty for Arvind in 12th in that Mercedes, unlucky. However, I didn't actually notice when, but Grayson has also passed Ivan. However, now we have Ross trying to follow his teammate Michael Marlowe. Michael on those mediums should have more grip through these corners. We can see that he does as well. He's pulling a little away in every braking zone and traction zone at the moment. And you can see here he's trying to break the slip, and we can see that Ross is going to get under a little bit of pressure from Stephen Grayson heading into turn 1 in not long. Look at this, Ross barely within DRS range on Michael Marlowe. Grayson 5 tenths behind Ross. Will we see Grayson go for it? He's a little bit too far behind, as well as Ross having Ross doesn't actually have DRS, and look at this, Grayson closing incredibly on the end there, but he's gonna have to stay behind and wait for another opportunity. Now maybe towards turn 4, if he is close enough. He is certainly close. I'm not sure if it's quite close enough. And we can see that he does not go for that one, as we can see that Michael Marlowe is now pulling a little away. And on those medium tires, I do believe we'll see Michael keep pulling a little away from Rosser, as we can see that Grayson is now trying to get himself closer to Ross. He's gonna want to put himself as close as possible before the start-finish straight DRS. However, with a lock up there from Grayson, we can see that he's lost DRS from Ross. He's barely with. He will be able to get himself into it, I think, through this section there, but we can see that he seems to be struggling a little now, while Ross might also be pushing hard to try and avoid Grayson in that DRS zone. However, look at Ivan Kingsley though. If Grayson doesn't manage to close that gap, maybe Ivan... I was gonna say maybe Ivan can, but with the amount of ERS Ivan has left in his car, I do not think we'll see him be able to close that gap. As we can see that Ross has managed to break DRS with Grayson. He's almost managed to get himself back in DRS on Michael. And further down the grid, we did actually miss a little bit of a fight between these two, but it is still going on. It is Billy and Thomas MacGyver. Thomas on the outside, Billy on the inside. And Thomas, he's going to stick it around the outside to keep that P6 at the moment. And we can see that Silva is ahead of both of these two as well on those hard tires that I'm not quite sure what he's thinking with them, how far he's gonna go. As we can see that Grayson, he has now no chance anymore at catching up to Ross, and we can see that Ivan, he has passed Grayson in the hope of catching up to the two drivers ahead. However, that is going to be very difficult with the amount of ERS we can see that he has. And look at this, Grayson gaining down this straight. Now through the final corner, will we see Grayson go for a move into turn 1 to claim back that P3 from Ivan? Down this straight, we can see Grayson, he goes past Ivan to take back P3. And now, before we miss it, we gotta watch the battle for 5th, as we can see that Thomas MacGyver down the inside on Silva. Look at that, Billy Mossam looking for a gap to exploit. He's gonna try to get them both. Look at this. Heading on to this straight, going into turn 4, we can see that Billy is ahead of Silva and he's challenging Thomas MacGyver. And look at this, Silva, he's not giving up. He's trying to fight back on those hard tires. He's struggling. And for that, ooh, and a big lock up by Thomas MacGyver there allows Billy to get a little bit closer. However, Billy almost went completely into the back of Thomas there. Luckily, he managed to break down in time and not break his wing. We can see the second McLaren of Luke in the background there as well. As Billy is going to go for the move. He's going to take that position of P5 into this left-hander. However, with the amount of ERS he has, I'm not sure if it was a good move, as he's gonna be demolished on the start-finish straight when they get down there. And look at this, Billy leading these three himself. Thomas MacGyver, Silva, down this straight to the final corner, and out of the final corner they go. And now we will see them. Billy has a good exit, but with 5 tenths, 6 tenths, I don't think he has enough, as Thomas opens the ERS, but Thomas is under pressure from Silva as well, and not using his ERS, meaning that Billy will be able to stay in front of these two. And look at this, Silva on the inside, Thomas on the outside. Thomas loses out, and Silva takes that P6 back, as he's now going to chase after Billy Mossam, and Billy to all. He can be a little relieved now, as he's been given a little breathing space by these two. He might have been able to save up some ERS again. As we can see that at the front, we have Michael Marlowe, who's pulled a 2.5 second gap on his teammate Ross Denholm now, and Ross has a 2.5 second gap back to Grayson as well. Grayson has a 3.5 second gap down to Ivan. Ivan, who's right ahead of this battle now. I'm not sure if we've actually missed Ivan making a mistake somewhere, but he is the front of this train right now. And so this train is for 4th place. It's between both the Ferraris, Billy and Thomas MacGyver. We can see that Ivan, he's out of the ERS. He's struggling at the moment. Billy is getting rescued a little by Ivan there, as we can see that Ivan goes into the pit, but Billy has gotten DRS from that, and it will be difficult for Silva to do anything into turn 1 now, as we can see that he is not gaining enough. And we still have Thomas MacGyver in the behind these two as well. We have Luke Baker trying desperately to fight himself up into this group, and well, looking at you, Luke, with that amount of ERS, I would say tell you to push a little more. As we can see that Ivan has gone in for a set of soft tires, and he is probably on a 2-stop in that case, which is a little bit weird. In the meantime, we're going to keep following this battle for 4th place. Billy, Silva and Thomas MacGyver all fighting for 1 position. And at the moment they're all neck in neck, but we can see that at the moment it looks like Thomas MacGyver has quite a huge ERS advantage on the 2 drivers ahead of him. And look at this then, down the start finish straight. Silva is not going to be close enough to Billy. Thomas, he is close to Silva, but with Silva having DRS it becomes a little bit too difficult for Thomas unless he decides to melt all of it. Oh, and that's a back end loss by Thomas MacGyver, almost dropping him outside of DRS on these 2 drivers, and he's gonna have to try and catch up in this middle sector to make sure he doesn't lose that train. I'm very sorry to hear that, Chris. I did not notice that. Or maybe I did and I have forgotten about it. That could be for that matter as well. However, we're back into this battle for P4. We can see that Thomas MacGyver is still not within that DRS window. Although he's right by it, and with the amount of ERS he has, he should be able to push a little down this back straight here and get himself into it. We can see that he's half a tenth away from it. He's a tenth. He's not using the ERS, but he should. This could be crucial for Billy and Silva to keep away from Thomas, as Thomas is very reluctant to use that ERS to his advantage. Now let's see then. Silva on those hard tires. Those hard tires should be better than the medium tires at some point soon. Now we can see that the gap between Michael and Ross has steadied now. Michael isn't gaining anymore, and with that in mind, we should see Silva have a bit of a chance to actually fight back against Billy now soon. However, in Thomas MacGyver's case, I do not know what this man is doing. He has almost 100% ERS, so he has the means to get back into DRS range, as he might have actually, with a good exit there, been able to, but Silva might have lost DRS on Billy at the same time. As we can see that Thomas MacGyver, he's now closing up a little more to Silva again, and you're gonna have to get past Silva on this lap, Thomas. This could be crucial for you, and ideally you should have pushed that ERS into this final corner and used it on this straight as well. However, he is not, and he does not have DRS, and this is just tactical shambles all over the place from Thomas MacGyver at the moment. Silva, on the other hand, he's not managing, he is back inside DRS there. Billy, you can see he's struggling with battery charge. He's used up pretty much everything he's got to stay ahead of these two. He's almost broken DRS with both of them multiple times now. Well, Jared, in our case, we should have been a little further than we are at the moment, but we did not have it on official timing the first time, so it ended up being a restart before we even got to start quali, pretty much. So a little bit behind schedule because of that, but nonetheless, as you can see, we have a good race on our hands so far, as we can see that Michael somehow has managed to pull a little more time on Ross lately, even on those old medium tires, and at this point I would say that Michael should pit to a new set of mediums soon before Ross gets the chance of an undercut. As we can see that Billy, he decides to go into the pit now. He's going to pit for a new set of mediums, I believe. And now we have Silva and we have Thomas MacGyver fighting side by side into turn 1. Thomas has finally started using his ERS little. Now side by side through turn 2, we can see that they are still there. And none of them have actually gotten DRS, but Thomas, he's on the outside. He's going to try to launch it around the outside on Silva, and with the better grip he gets there, he gets the position and is back into 4th. After a brilliant fight with Silva there. Now let's see then. Lap 18. Both. It is an AlphaTauri 1-2 at the moment, but who will come out the winner in the end? There's a 3-second gap in advantage for Michael Marlowe. Will he be able to best his teammate in the final race of the season? I think it is crucial for Michael not to get undercutted if he wants to do that. And we're gonna have a quick look. Are we gonna see Michael does not go into the pit? He seems to maybe be going for the soft tires. We can see that Ross doesn't go into the pit either. What about further down the grid? Thomas MacGyver goes into the pit. He is followed. Silvag does not go into the pit. Oh, and a 5-second time penalty for Thomas MacGyver. That is not ideal at all. And look at this. We have Ivan Kingsley on the back of Matt Romano heading down the long start-finish straight. Matt is not looking like he's putting too much of a fight up for this one. He's still there though. Come on, Matt, final race of the season, put up a little bit more of a fight, you know. Oh, and maybe he is. Look at this. Actually, that is Ivan slowing down for Matt. Interesting scenes there. Ooh, be careful there. As we can see that Ivan is just sitting on Matt's rear here and gives him a little tap into that double left-hander. Now going down this back DRS straight, and let's see. And look at this, Matt is gonna stick it around the outside here. And getting the inside line there, and ooh, pushes Ivan a little off track there, Matt, showing a bit of a feisty side of himself. And we can see that Billy is not happy with this. He's caught up in traffic. He's trying to undercut people there. He has actually undercutted Thomas. However, if he gets stuck more in this traffic, he might struggle to actually get Silva. As Billy is going to go past, as Matt has actually gone into the pit. Yeah, well, on 15 lap hold medium, so I can understand that. But look at the front two though, they're still staying out. And Michael, he's losing a lot of time now. You got to pit, Michael. Do you not want to win or anything? Aye, aye, aye. Frustrating to see people make choices like this. There's no way he's going to be able to pull those mediums to the end of the race, and right now Ross is catching mad on Michael. We're going to go to the front. We can see that Michael, he is losing a lot of time to Ross. In through the final corner, Michael, you have to pit this lap. If not, you're just going to give the win away. And he goes into the pit, and it hasn't been a stupid decision to stay out this long by him, but he better hope those soft tires is going to do their work for him now. As we can see that Stephen Grayson is also into the pit. Meaning we have Ross Denholm in the lead of the race now. We have Silva in second. I know for a fact that those tires Ross are on, they're not much great anymore either. Luke is in third. Luke and Silva, they could try to go to the end. However, I do not believe they would be able to go to the end. As we can see that Billy has come out ahead of Grayson. However, Grayson on those fresh soft tires should be able to pull that gap in and to pass Billy quite quickly. As we can see that Ivan Kingsley is right on the back of Grayson as well. And look at this, Thomas McIver he's on the 4-lap old medium set. He is trying to get himself past Ivan Kingsley. Ivan, where we can see that his red light is flashing constantly, meaning he's constantly low on ERS. As Grayson, look at this, he's challenging Billy into this left-hander. However, Billy keeps his position for now. But I do not believe he will keep it for long, as we can see that Billy is low on ERS. You can see his light, well, it isn't flashing right now, but it should be flashing now. And to Grayson, that means that it is time to make the move and get that 5th place back from Billy. As we can see that Ross and Silva are both pitting now. And then the question is, where will they come out? They should be coming out behind these two. Well, actually Ross is coming out in third, 3 seconds behind his teammate, while Silva is coming out in 8th, almost 4 seconds behind his teammate. As now we can see Steven, he's trying to pull away from Billy. We can see Matt Romano with the fastest lap of the day with a 1:29.1 lap. However, we have multiple people on the soft tires now, and I do think we'll see a couple of more people try to go for that fastest lap. And the first one might be Michael Marlowe, as we can see that he has DRS. He's closing, well, he didn't actually have DRS, that is my bad, but he was using some ERS, and he's closing the gap on Luke Baker, heading through this fast left-right-hander. He's trying to stick close to him. He's going to get a good slip down this straight towards the final corner, and look at this, he might actually have him before the final corner, as we can see that he, well, backing off a little, making sure that he's getting DRS here, I think, and out of the final corner. And we can see Luke's tires just giving up a little. Michael Marlowe, though, he does have DRS now, he does have some ERS to use as well. And down towards the first corner, we're going to see Michael Marlowe on the inside of Luke to take the position and move into P1, as we can see that Grayson put up a lap over 28 flat to take the fastest lap of the day so far as well. And we can see that Michael has lost a little to his teammate on that battle with Luke. We can see that Ross is now only 2.5 seconds behind Michael Marlowe. As we can see that Ivan Kingsley has pitted for a new set of soft tires, so we might see him try to go for it. And look at this, Ross right down the inside on Luke there. Quick and efficient move on Luke to move himself up into second and now try to chase down his teammate in first. As we have yellow flags, and I'm not completely sure why. Unless Oh, and Luke is had a spin after. Oh, and Luke has a puncture. The second McLaren of Luke Baker has managed to get himself a left rear puncture here in Bahrain, and that is going to drop him down in positions. We can see that Jeremy Pope is coming around that corner. He's going to take away 7th from Luke, and in not long we're going to see Matt Romano also catching up to Luke here, as Luke is struggling to even put down a little bit of power there. We can see that here comes Romano taking... Oh, a tack! That is Thomas McIver. He's gone out in the final corner. Let's see, can we get a picture of what's happened? I do not see his car. Is it on the inside? There it is. He's spun around in the final corner and he's crashed out. We're not getting a safety car at the moment. And the car is taken away, and there was no safety car, meaning that the drivers have to do it themselves now towards the end, as we can see that Luke Baker finally gets himself into the pit. He's going to be overtaken by Jessica Harrison as well. However, look at this though. Silva this year. He's been a strong driver for the Ferrari team this season. Unfortunately for himself, outshined by his teammate Ivan Kingsley, who's taken the championship before we even started this round. But right now he's chasing down Billy Mossam as he will look to get this P4. At the front we can see that Michael Marlowe, he's getting caught by his teammate Ross Denholm. There's only 1.2 seconds between these two now. Look at this, Billy defending into turn 1. Silva trying to find a way past now. Silva with a bit of a switchback. He's right on Billy's back end here and going down towards... Oh, and there's contact between these two here. Billy trying to go defensive, however moving too late as Silva is already there. And oh, Billy tapping Silva's rear end, I think. So a little bit of contact between these two, but we can see that Silva has gotten himself past Billy. And now he should just be pulling away. However, in the front for the lead, we have Ross Denholm on the back of his teammate Michael Marlowe. It's going to be between the two AlphaTauris today. Two drivers who's consistently been up there this season, but at the same time been a little inconsistent at times. And been a little bit of some bottle jobs from time to time as well. But... as we can see that Michael tries to break slipstream with Ross. This is the closest battle we have on track at the moment. We can see that it looks like Ross, he is sitting behind Michael. He's waiting for his opportunity towards the end of the race. Or well, we are at the end of the race, but probably towards the second to last lap or last lap before he's gonna try to do it. Make sure that Michael doesn't get a chance to get him back. I guess Ross getting very close to the back end of Michael. Look at this, we might see Ross go for a move here, but he has DRS. He's not using his ERS. He's gonna sit back and wait. Now through this fast left-right combination, we can see Ross breathing down Michael Marlowe's neck here. Now down towards the final corner, we can see that Ross is right on Michael's back. Ross with a much better line through that corner, and you can see that he's gained over a tenth on just the exit. And now Ross should be able to, as he's not gonna go for it. He's using his DRS, but he's not using his ERS. He's just letting Michael know that he's there. He's letting him know that I will get past you at some point. And now look at this. He's using his DRS. He's gonna have to take a very tight line into that corner as Michael squeezes him, but Michael breaks way too late, and Ross is gonna get an easy move to move into P1 as Michael just completely obliterates that corner. However, Michael is still within that DRS window on Ross as well though, so he can still get a chance at passing him back. As we can see that Ivan picks up a 5-second for speeding into the pit. And now let's see Michael on the back of Ross Denholm. He's just now gonna make sure that he stays with Ross, and towards the end of the race he's probably gonna have one chance at an overtake, either at the start finish straight or the straight dial leading down towards turn 4. As we can see that he's still within 6/10 there, using a little bit too much of that overtake. Now out of the final corner we can see him close, and do not go for it, Michael. You're using way too much of that, and you're just not gonna get a chance if you keep doing this. As he's still close, but now he has pretty much no overtake power to use. And it's going to be very difficult for him to get a chance there, as we can see that he's getting close, but he's not going to get close enough. And now I do think that Ross has this win in the bag. Michael was in a commanding lead. He could have had a much bigger gap to Ross after the last pit stops, but he decided to wait long and go towards the soft tires. Lost a lot of time, and at this point I'm not sure if that was the best option for Michael. As we can see that he's outside of the DRS window. He's barely within from time to time now. But at this point it is Ross's race. As we can see that Michael, he's out of ERS. He doesn't manage to stay with Ross anymore. And I'm pretty sure we can say that it has been settled who is the winner of this race now. As we can see that Ross is now going down towards turn 4. The only thing that can keep him from this race now is the bottle job. Now in towards the S section, we can see him still pushing. And down towards the double left-hander. Michael still losing time. 2.2 seconds between them now, and Ross. He's gonna be the winner of this Bahrain Grand Prix if nothing happens within the next few corners. As we can see that Ivan Kingsley takes the fastest lap of the race with a 1:27.6, as he is currently trying to chase down Jessica Harrison. Nonetheless, we have Ross Denholm going in towards the final corner, cementing his position in second in the championship as he takes the win here in Bahrain. And it will be an Alpha Tauri 1-2 with Michael Marlowe in second, and we're going to have Stephen Grayson once again on the podium to take a third place. Then we're going to have Silva Vessier as he goes over the line to take 4th place. Billy Mossam, he's gonna go over the line to take 5th place. Whoa, gotta be careful so you get your car to the line there. Then we have Jeremy Pope, who seems happy with his P6 here today. Matt Romano, he's gonna come towards the line to take P7 and get a nice points paying position in the last race of the season. And I think he might have saved the constructor for him on Ermin then. In 8th place we have Jessica Harrison, who will be coming over the line in 8th place on those old medium tires. Jessica, who struggled today with a drive-through penalty and more. Let's see, Luke Baker, he slows down. Same does Ivan. As we can see that these two, as Arvin goes over the line to take his P11, we can see that Ivan Kingsley taking some donuts to celebrate his Drivers' Championship here in IRL F3 Season 10. And we can see Luke Baker in the background there. Not completely sure what he's celebrating for, unless his McLaren team might have secured P3 in the constructor. However, I think the Racing Points are just holding off that position. As okay, this is Codemasters for you. These guys are doing some donuts, and the safety car is going out, even though the race is over. And now let's hope let's see that we can get these drivers to the line. We can see Ivan now doing a few more donuts before getting to the line. And that's Luke over the line in 9th. Ivan is gonna snail his car over the line to take 10th in the race. And at the final race of the season, we have Ross Denholm going from 9th to 1st to take the win, ahead of his teammate Michael Marlowe in 2nd, who had pole today. Stephen Grayson with a good solid race, 3rd in quali, 3rd in the race. Then Silva from 10th to 4th. Billy Mossam in 5th in the end. Jeremy Pope with a 6th place, Matt Romano with a 7th, then Jessica Harrison in 8th, Luke Baker in 9th, and Ivan Kingsley in 10th. Then we have Arvind 1 lap down in 11th, before we have Thomas McIver, Cameron Rowlands, Joachim Storm, Enzo and Chris, all with a DNF today. And with that, we'll see if we can get the podium drivers in to do some interviews, and at the same time we will also get the champions in, aka Ivan Kingsley and Silva. And I'm always struggling with a certain person's gaming tag. And then so there we have them, and we will see if we get any of them in to the party, so we can ask them some friendly questions. As I can see that we have Michael and Silva here already. Let's see if we can get the rest in as well. And there we have the Ross. And well, we'll start with Ross then, I guess. So, Ross.
Yep.
First of all, no quality today, so was it surprising to start in 9th in the end?
Yeah, because I wanted to start like at the back, but yeah, it was really surprising starting 9th, because I wanted to start like 12 or 13th. So yeah, 9th was a bit surprising.
Fair enough, fair enough. No matter though, in the race, I usually mention the strategies on beforehand in quali, and to my surprise, there wasn't a lot of people choosing the strategy I really think is the best one if you start outside of the top 10, which is hard to do mediums. Everybody seemed to be starting on mediums, but you started on hards. Were you completely sure about that strategy before the race, or?
Yeah, because I saw Kevin and Edward do it in F1 yesterday, so I was like, oh, I'll try and do this. So I went there.
I'm not gonna lie, it is quite an OP strategy here, especially with the tires.
Yeah.
Really getting a lot of tire wear. Nonetheless, though, starting on those hards, I didn't expect you to make that many moves at the start of the race as you did. Can you give us an insight to your first few laps?
Just went for it, to be honest, to see what would happen. Just went, yeah, there's no point, I'm just going to go for everything I see. So yeah, and then obviously that safety car came out, so.
And to be fair, that safety car, I'm not sure if it was that much in your favor or not, but obviously you did end up having on-track position with first, but obviously it wasn't a great time for all the soft runners with that safety car either. But nonetheless, though, your teammate, he pitted for the mediums, he caught you and he passed you, and for a long time it looked like he was gonna have it in the bag, but towards the end of his stint he lost a lot of time to you. Did you think at that point that you would still catch him and win?
No, because my tires were on 70% because I was on them for so long. So yeah, I thought I wouldn't, but just the pure luck of my strategy. Obviously, I thought they wouldn't go as long as they did, the hard, so I wanted to go hard medium. So I was like, yeah, I'll go hard medium, but then obviously Hamlet DNF'd, so he just told me to go 21 laps on them and we went hard soft.
Fair enough. Then towards the end of the race, we saw you catching up to him, and it looked like you waited a few laps and hoped he would where you used up some of his ERS before you made the move, and how was it when you finally made the move? Because if I remember correctly, Michael defended pretty much with everything he had, but he defended a little bit too much and went quite deep in turn 4.
Yeah, so obviously the softs, it was like Hamilton Verstappen round 1, if you remember that. It was like he was Hamilton trying to stay ahead, and what was it, Hamilton catching Verstappen?
I have no idea, man.
But it was like that, sort of round 1. It was like that I was trying to get on, catch up again. And it happened, and obviously the move, I saw him open the outside, I'm like, that's not happening, I'm going in the grill if I do. So I was like, okay, I see him coming over to the inside, so I'm just going to go for the inside instead. It worked.
Fair enough.
With a little bit of contact.
Fair enough. Nonetheless, though, after that, you pretty much didn't look back. You managed to pull away from Michael. He stayed with you for a little, but he didn't manage to stay with you until the end, and you ended up taking the win in the end. Now, obviously, there is no more races this season. Now, this was the final race of the season. However, I'm assuming that Ross Denholm is going to be a returning driver, and with barely missing out on the championship this season, what are your future goals now?
Hopefully in F2 next season, hopefully. As I've been bottom tier driver all my seasons. I wanted to be F2 for this season, but it didn't happen. So
and if you get into F2, what would be the goal in there?
Do what Tom did. Fight, do well. As you saw Tom just blast off the gate, he won in fans, he did well. See if I can do Tom, get promoted and do well.
Fair enough. Well, nonetheless, congratulations on your win today. Good luck for next season, and also congratulations on second in the championship in the end.
Thank you.
And we will move over to the other AlphaTauri of Michael Marlowe then.
Hello.
And Michael, I said it. Well, let's start with quali actually.
Yeah, okay.
I'm a little frustrated with your decisions at the end there, but in quali, nonetheless, pole position with some of these others deciding not to do quali. Like, were you that confident you were going to get pole? And
I mean, I was saying in the party chat before qualifying began, I kind of wish this is one of the races they did do quali, so I think I probably could have been a contender for pole anyway, because in the practice lobbies we were doing before, Ross was actually slower, so yeah, I mean, I would have been confident either way, but yeah, it did make it quite easy.
Fair enough, fair enough. Nonetheless then, in the race, you and was it Steven, I believe, pulled away quite early and got yourself a gap, but then the safety car came out, and in that situation you were in a little bit of a pickle. But was that choice an easy choice to make?
No, I was thinking about what happened in FP, and I was just thinking about how it was Lordy who had the better strategy with the medium to medium. However, I was also thinking that the tyres could go further, hence why I went on to the softs later, which turns out to be a massive mistake, but yeah.
Oh, it was. It was.
Thank you.
And I did say it. Obviously, you were at the front, and you didn't have too much action for a large portion of the race. You got past the few drivers. I believe there was 2 drivers ahead of you at that point.
Yeah, it was Ivan and Ross.
You
Yeah.
got past them fairly easily, and at that point you dropped Ross. You extended your lap. No, your lap actually. Your gap up until 3 something seconds.
Yeah.
And I'm not gonna lie, at around lap 17, 18, I expected you into the pits again to go for another medium stint.
Yeah.
But like, what was the reasoning behind going so long to go to the softs? And
Well, Well, the logic was I knew what Ross was doing. I knew Ross would stay out. So this is one of the few races we weren't actually in a party together. But it's Ross. He always does it. So I was just going to match him because with a 3-second gap, I would be absolutely fine to win the race. I thought. And I decided to extend it, especially because I realised, being the lead AlphaTauri, the optimal lap to pit is the one I pitted on for the soft tyres, which meant he couldn't. So that was also part of the thinking. And the other thing is, I was in a call with Matt Romano, and I know he was with someone, I think he was with Delta or Ivan around this time, and they were somewhat close to each other, and that was where my rejoin was telling me I would be. So I didn't want to pit for mediums and then lose the race lead because those two were slowing me down or something. So I decided to stay out. It was the wrong choice, and yeah.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I got quite frustrated when you didn't pit for those mediums. It was like I could just see you throwing the win away there today. As well, yeah, you had a 3-second gap, but obviously you lost almost everything of that on that last 2 laps on the mediums. And obviously, if you pitted onto the mediums and Ross stayed out a few more laps, you would have gained the bigger gap as well. But nonetheless, though, P2 in the end, so not a disaster for that matter.
Oh,
but
given the scenario, it is a bit of a disaster. I wasn't happy
a
with
bit.
the
I
move
tried to be a
lead.
little nice to you, but sure.
I wasn't happy with the move to the lead either, but that's a different story.
Fair enough. Nonetheless, though, P3 in the championship in the end, and the P2 in the constructors. As I said to Ross, this was the final season on this game, but and the final race in this season. So, what's the goals for next season?
Don't know really. Depends who's in what tier, I guess. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's so many unknowns. First of all, who's going to be returning? How many tiers will there be? How will we adapt to the new cars? You know, each driver individually will be different. So I don't have a clue. Hopefully well, but we'll see.
Fair enough, fair enough. Nonetheless then, congratulations on the second place today, on the third place in the championship, and good luck for next season.
Cheers.
And at this point we will move over to Ivan.
Oh, hello. Hello.
There is the championship winner. And today, Ivan, first of all, I like quick question about the racer. It looked like a bit of a strange race for you. It didn't look like strategy ended up correctly from the start. And like, how was this race for you?
Fun. I guess I wasn't really, as I said in the interview last week, and I said to like a few people in the chat, so I wasn't really bothered on where I was going to finish. Like, I was just, obviously I knew that everything was wrapped up. I knew I could have went for the podium with a win and made it look like a good last race for me, but obviously I just felt like I wanted to do the donuts at the start of the race, and I heard that that's like a thing we could be allowed to do. So I just kept like staking on random tires to just waste a little bit of time. But if I did like fully dedicate this race to the point, I would have done much better. Obviously, I would have been up there to AlphaTauris, but nothing really happened in my race. I had a few battles with Matt. I tried to force that to happen. Then Ross was in my party, and he wanted almost everyone in the party to like hold Michael up. Which was a bit surprising, because he was telling me, right, I know we're rivals and all that stuff, but just hold him up. So I did that, obviously, because I knew I wasn't going to be in that position anyway. So I held him up, Sylvan held him up, Luke held him up. So I guess, it's not really like it was like hard for us to really beam off with the win. I wouldn't have expected them to catch up with the other race. It was fun. I liked the donuts. The donuts were the best additional part to the race. Got double punches on the rears.
Well, I don't doubt that for a moment. I saw the donuts and there was a lot of them. But
yeah,
nonetheless,
the
though,
thing was annoying.
When obviously the race isn't why you're here today, it is for the championship. So, like, can you give us a quick summary on like the highs and lows of in your season?
Obviously the highs were probably rounds 1 and 2 being Australia and Russia. It was just, obviously starting off the season I knew that I wanted to get the title. So I was always just, because obviously Ross did kind of annoy me last season saying that I was just a bad driver, so obviously I was like, right, I got to pick a teammate that's good as well, so I picked Silver. And then when we started to get these really good results, I was like, right, this is actually a good chance for us to win the titles. So yeah, Australia and Russia. Britain, obviously, that was probably the one point. Even though it was round 3, I was still so annoyed because it was like, I was catching up to Ross and all that stuff. Hungary wasn't the best. Baku was surprisingly actually amazing because I stayed on softs in the wet, which was amazing. Japan and Austria, those were back-to-backs as well, they were really fun. Austria was probably my favourite race. France, obviously, I didn't finish because I didn't actually turn up. Brazil, obviously, one of my favourite tracks, loved that a lot, especially getting the fast slap and having some battles on the way. Canada, honestly, it's just one of the worst tracks on the game. Genuinely, it's just, we might as well put it to regular corner cutting if we want to have that track fun.
Couldn't agree more with you.
Italy, obviously, it's amazing to know that I won the championship at a Ferrari track in a Ferrari. Would have been great to have Vesser up there as well. It would have been like a 1-3 at Italy. And then Bahrain, obviously, was just me ending it off with the donuts. But the season wasn't easy though, I'll be honest with you that. I had a lot of help on the way. I had my mate, Sir Hamrick, shout out to Hamrick. Hamrick helped me a lot with the strategies, holding people up, give me slipstream and all that stuff, so the majority of the races were just Hamrick helping me, so same with my teammate as well. So thank you, Hamrick, if you're there.
I believe he is.
Yeah, if he's watching the stream, well, I've given him his little shout out that he wanted because he didn't want to make it seem like I didn't want to seem like I had like an ego in the streams. Oh yeah, easy wins and all that stuff. Obviously I had Hamrick helping me. So shout out to him.
Any tips for future champions then, who's obviously still chasing their first championships? Like, any tips for them?
Always use the things that people say. Like, if someone says, oh, you're slow and all that stuff, like, I've noticed a few people going, like, quicker, but it's obviously, like, you've just got to take all the negativity that people give you and use that to just really push yourself, because the quick people will be the most successful if you just put the work in. You're not going to get quick if you don't work for it, and obviously this season, I've 100% showed that I can work for it, and now that the season's ended, it's like, it's just unreal that I've went from just round 1 all the way to the end, and the progress is honestly insane. Because I've seen it in other leagues, like obviously I've just dedicated to IRL, but tips, just always practice, reduce your leagues down a little bit so your confidence doesn't go from high, getting a win at IRL and then going into some leagues, then finishing like 8th, because that's going to make you get confident and then not confident. So that's why you want to reduce your leagues and keep it to the one main important one. So IRL obviously I dedicate to that. Always have a good environment with, like, if you've got like mates who can help you and all that stuff, practice with them. You can get quicker with them as well, and just if you really want to win it, the results will come. It just takes time. So you should never really give up on your goals.
Couldn't agree more with that.
Yeah, so never give up.
I'm not gonna lie, it has been a pleasure seeing how you from last season went from, well, you weren't exactly in the fight last season to being, well, in the end to being the clear championship favorite, and also winning at the same time. I do believe you picked up 5 wins in the end, if I can't remember incorrectly there. Ross picked up 4 with this last one.
Another tip. Never get cocky. That's one other one. Just never get one win and then think, oh yeah, by the way, like, it's like round 4, let's say if I won round 4, I wouldn't just be like, oh yeah, by the way, honestly, I'm going to demolish the whole grid the next race. And then you don't. You'll feel a bit stupid and everyone will just laugh at you.
I do gotta agree with you on that one as well.
You never be cocky. That's one other thing. Just never be cocky. Never just. If you want to win the championship, you obviously want to be humble. All that stuff. You don't want to just look like an idiot. I was trying to find. Yeah, like you don't want to have an ego after the race and say you're going to demolish them. And if you don't, you don't.
Well,
Just
I
a few
would
races
say
when some of my rivals have said, "Oh yeah, I'm going to do well in this," in the interviews, and then the next race it's completely different. That stuff. So you never want to make yourself look like an idiot. And that stuff in front of people. Just
well, I
finish
agree
the
with
best
that
result you
too.
can.
I agree with that to an extent. After winning the championship, I do think you're entitled to do a little gloating. However, you do mention something being humble, and you shouldn't gloat too much. You should know the limit there, and
Yeah, maybe like
because
after maybe like a day or two, I'll probably be so happy with it. But then after maybe like a week or two, I'll just take it and I'll know that that's one of my achievements that I've done, and just focus on. Because whatever happens in the past, you can't just always rely on that to be your what's going to happen all the time. Because if you just sit around and just know that you're a champion, and then you go into the next season, you get smoked, it's just going to look stupid. So you just always need to practice. Yeah,
Well,
so you just don't ever be cocky.
in the end, obviously ending up with the championship there. Also taking the
Yeah.
constructors, for that matter. So taking the double with Ferrari in Italy, secured that one there as well.
Yeah.
Nonetheless, though, what are the future goals for this for the F3 title winner now?
Just do well, obviously. As Michael said, it's the next game and the season will be on, so everyone will be all equal with the pace. Everyone will be pretty slow, but it's just going to have to be. It'll just show when the season comes back who's really putting in the most work with the results. Because we could say, let's say, I'm finishing like 8th and all that stuff each race, and we've got like Matt winning if he doesn't let people pass. It's going to be like who really is going to practice the most for the next game. So that's always the disadvantage with some people. Some people join late in the season, some people have only just got the game, all that stuff, but
Yeah.
since everyone will get the game near the roundabout at the exact same time, it'll be more closer and everyone will have to get used to the cars, because I don't assume this game will be any the same next game. I assume next game is going to be much trickier. But yeah, I don't want to set myself any goals for next season that I'm not going to be able to live up to. So just hope to do well. That's the only thing I just always want to do, is just perform well and make myself feel proud of how I've raced in that race, and just focus on the next one.
Fair enough. Humble skull there from a humble title winner. Nonetheless, congratulations on your title this season and your constructor's title as well. And good luck for next season and whatever that brings.
Yeah, the constructors was honestly, I'm surprised about that, I'll be honest with you. The drivers, obviously, that was just like, I was finished that, but the constructors, I was surprised about, because there were so many times when me or Vesser didn't make it in that race and all that stuff, so I'm surprised that we actually secured it. Because we had no, like, teamwork at all. We had the most unorthodox, like, planning. We never planned it. We weren't in parties with each other. Like, even Sylvan can back me up with that. We were never in parties.
Yeah, we were never in parties.
I think we'd message, like, occasionally just good luck or something, or what you do, and that was it. And that would be it. We just let whatever happens in the race happen. So that's why I always went to another party, because it means that if, like, for example, Versus behind me and he says, "Oh, Ivan let me past," and I go, "Nah, I'm not letting you past," it means that we can't really communicate with each other, so nothing like bad happens, like we argue or something in the thing saying "let me pass" and all that stuff. We just do
And
whatever happens in the race.
considering I missed a couple, like 3 races I didn't start.
Yeah,
for
that was the AlphaTauri's weak point, is they were always in a party with each other from start to finish, so some like stuff could always like heat up with them or something, and like one of them could be behind each other saying "let me pass" them much quicker, and obviously you'd hate that for a teammate to say that you're slow, all that stuff. So that's one of our strong points, is that we never really did any team orders. We just let whatever happened in the race happen.
Fair enough.
Screw both though. That's the best goal. I picked Vesser as a teammate. I wasn't doing it because I expected constructors, but I'll take 2 dubs.
2 dubs is better than 1. And we are going to move on to you now, Sylvain.
Yeah.
So first of all, you did secure that P4 in the championship in the end. Obviously, as you mentioned, you had a few races where you didn't start, but at the beginning of the season, though, I remember quite well that I believe you finished in a podium position in Australia.
That
Then,
got taken away.
yeah, and then you finished in a podium position in
I
Russia,
finished P1 in
and
Russia,
that
and
got
that got
taken
taken
away.
away from me.
And then you had a couple of more difficult races in Britain and Hungary, I believe.
Hungary, I lagged out, so that was a bit
Oh,
of
yeah.
a difficulty. Silverstone got a penalty again, so I would have finished P4.
And then in Baku, as of
I
one of
didn't
those
turn up.
races you didn't get to do. But then in Japan, you finally got that podium and it stayed. And
Yeah.
after that, it kind of seemed to fall a little bit together. Like, obviously, Austria was another week you could make it. But then in France, I'm guessing that is the highlight of your season in the end, where you got that win. So, like,
Yeah.
after those first two races where everything seemed to go a little against you, like, how was it with those two podiums after each other there?
Yeah, it was pretty good. Japan, I was a little bit disappointed because I was that close to Ivan, so I was just a bit stranded by myself in P2. Then France, quality I don't think was that great, to be honest. But the race, just me by myself, Delta not turning up. He was doing some other priority, and it was a good chance for the AlphaTauri to catch up in the Constructors' Championship. But they bottled that and only got like 8 points that weekend compared to my 25, so that was good for the constructors and the drivers equally.
Indeed. And then after that, you had another strong race in Canada, then a difficult race in Italy, and another strong race today.
Italy was a bit disappointing, to be honest, because I literally just came out the pits, virtual safety car ended, and when I got past the white line, I automatically got given a drive-through, so that took away a podium from me. So yeah, it would have been like
I'd
a
actually
1-2,
forgotten about
1-3.
that, but yeah.
It
But
would have been a 1-2, 1-3 for me and Ivan there.
I was fuming about that as well.
I can believe that. But nonetheless, though, after around the season, they were like obviously last round taking the constructors with your teammate, but then also heading into this round, your championship position wasn't decided as it was for Ivan. You could still go for that third place. Like, what was your
No, I couldn't
mindset
have gone for
today?
third place. I was too far behind.
Oh no, you had a chance at third today.
Did I?
Yeah, you were 17 points behind. Yeah, you needed a second or a win.
And Tech to get, well, and Michael to get no points, so it's a bit difficult, to be honest. But
Oh, it is. I didn't say it was the easy one.
I should have just pushed and helped you if I knew that that was the one thing that was actually up for grabs. I thought everything was right. I didn't know you actually could have got like second and third.
I thought so as well. I only went default setup. No, I was like, I'll just have a fun race. Look at it.
I just ran a setup that was just good for
fair
the
enough.
points.
But
It's just a bit of a fun race, to be honest. It's like just go default, have a bit of fun.
Yeah, one wings were amazing on the straights as well.
I can believe that. But then after this season, obviously, we're heading into a new season on a new game. So, like, as I've asked the others, what are your goals then, and like, what do you hope for?
Hopefully, for the start of the game, I should be a little bit quicker. Like on this game, I was as well. Like usually I can adapt quicker to like games than most people.
But like as soon as people put like the effort in, like where I won't, I'll probably drop down. So if depending on the start of the season, I should be good. Then I might drop off a little bit.
Fair enough. Nonetheless, congratulations to you for P4 in the championship and for the constructors win together with Ivan. And good luck for the both of you on the next game and on in the new seasons.
Cheers.
And with that, this has been the final race of IRL F3. It was round 12 in the 9 under the lights of Bahrain. I've been your commentator, Sondre Sorhaug. Today, make sure to like and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more. This is not the last thing you've seen of us on this game. There is the exhibition series coming up where you'll see the drivers show their skills in a different set of cars with some classic cars. I do believe there will be F2 cars and a realistic race, so make sure to like and subscribe to catch when that is on. And until next time, good night.